Welcome back to the Competitor Talk. This is your host, Kyle Dangler. This podcast is presented by Loud Creative Works, and today we're going to have guest Pat Demarco, New York Yankees prospect outfielder. He was just on the 2019 College World Series championship team with Vanderbilt University. He played center field for them, so we're going to be talking about a little bit about his time there. So we're going to give him a call now, and we'll get it going. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we're live on the Competitor Talk right now, and we'll get going.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Yeah, so just before, you got to Vanderbilt, can you just talk a little bit about your time, going through the recruiting process, what other schools were you looking at? Why did you choose Vanderbilt, kind of stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's a long story. Started when I think I was in middle school, entered high school, started playing in all those perfect game tournaments. Originally was a football player.
Okay.
And wanted to play football in college and maybe make a career out of that. But as time went on, I just decided to focus on baseball. And, I just playing down south. My dad used to take me to all these tournaments. I got involved in a team called Team Elite.
Yeah.
They're one of the prime travel organizations in the summer to get scouted at. And I actually got on the team through a teammate of mine who was...
It's the Hyundai 4th of July sales event.
They asked if he had any other friends who would like to play who were pretty good. So they recommended me. So I went down there, Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
Played there since I was 15, I think I started. 15U, 16U, 17U.
So you moved down there as a result of baseball?
Well, for the first couple of years, it was just in the summer. I just played summer ball. I moved down there junior high school.
All right. Yeah, for baseball?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so, just going through that at such a young age, how did that transition go, just moving down there for solely baseball?
Yeah, that was the goal from the beginning. So I knew kind of what it was going to be like, and then at the same time, it was a mystery of what was going to happen. So I had some friends at the high school that I trusted in, and my dad could go back to New York, and I could stay with them for however many weeks. My dad went back to New York to see the rest of my family, but it was a mystery of what it was going to be like. But at the end of the day, it was to play baseball, and that's what I did. So
what other schools were you looking at? What kind of stood out with Vanderbilt, and why did you choose there specifically?
Yeah, so I'm good friends with Harrison Bader.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The center fielder for the Cardinals.
Yep.
He's from New York. I worked with him ever since I was in 8th grade. He was the center fielder for Florida. And, I always looked up to him. He came back in the winter after fall ball with all his Florida gear on, and it was the coolest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
I was in 6th grade, 7th grade. I was like, that's unreal. So, I've been close with him, and as I started getting more notoriety and I started getting looked at, I asked him really what were the 3 best schools that he would
recommend.
Yeah, and to get better, not just to play and to win, but to actually get better on the other side of it. He said LSU, Vandy, and Florida. So, I never spoke to LSU. I visited Florida. I had scholarships to Mississippi State and Georgia, and maybe a couple other SEC schools.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to go SEC or ACC, but definitely focus on SEC. And then he said if he could redo his college career, he'd choose Vandy. He said the way those guys are over there at Vandy, you could just see it. It's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's different than most colleges. So I visited Vandy, and it just felt right on as soon as I stepped on. You really know where you're meant to be as soon as you step on. So, they made me feel the most loved and the most appreciated, and that's where I chose.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm just at your time at Vanderbilt. Obviously, it wasn't long ago. Can you just speak, about Coach Tim Corbin? How does he run his practices? Because it's mostly not necessarily, but kind of like a baseball factor. So many of you guys keep on getting drafted, and it's such a high esteemed program now. How has he kind of shaped the program?
he has made the whole program what they were before to what we are now is unreal. And don't get me wrong, Vanderbilt was still good before, but I mean, Vanderbilt now is unreal. Coach Corbin is the best coach I've ever played for. I think anybody who's played for him will say the exact same thing. Just the way you go about things at Vanderbilt just prepares you to lead a good life, for your family, for, your future teammates. Just going there prepares you just to be just great in every single aspect of your life, not just baseball. And on top of that, the baseball is really good. So, the program he's made is obviously one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, you just brought up, the SEC. I mean, so many of the teams in the SEC, you see these days, I mean, are so esteemed and, powerful. It's kind of like the powerhouse of baseball, if you would. So, every night, I mean, there's no breaks, kind of, So how do you guys prepare, like a Monday or Tuesday and a Saturday and Sunday, you're playing great teams every game. I mean, how do you stay focused and prepared every game?
Yeah, that comes down to, how we train. Coach Corbin focuses on each and every training session. That's it. We're not worried about the weekend. We're not worried about the team we're playing that day. We study them. We, game plan. But besides that, we're focused on us. We're not focused on any opponent. We do the necessary background checks, and that's really it. Then we just focus on us and focus on our training. So it seems to work out well.
Yeah, so, what was kind of your routine, going through Vanderbilt? I mean, besides, the classwork and, lifting, I mean, how did you every day prepare and make yourself better? I mean, were you a guy who was in the cages a lot? Were you a guy who watched film? I mean, how did you progress throughout your career there?
Yeah, I mean, the classroom helps a lot. The classroom builds, the mental side of you as a person, not just on the field, and it challenges you, and it just anything that challenges you will make you grow, obviously. So, going through that while also going through the rigorous baseball, program it just makes you better, and either you sink or swim, and, it just, everything there just helped me grow.
Yeah. So, just speaking off of that, besides Vanderbilt, you played in the Cape Cod League, 2018 with the Orleans Firebirds. I mean, you had a pretty good year. How did that experience, because we've talked to a bunch of different players, how for you personally has that experience been, going from SEC play to, Cape Cod with some of the best players also, wood bats, and then going back to school? I mean, how much did that prepare you for the upcoming season?
Yeah, the Cape Cod League's awesome. It's definitely more like the pro side of baseball than college in terms of it's much more loose. It's less regimented. You're not doing exact things at exact times set by the coach. So it's just more pro style. But at the same time, you get to meet all these great college players that you play against and that you've seen and heard of, which is awesome. And you definitely get better there too with the wood bat, and to see different arms. It prepares you for the next season.
Yeah. So something definitely I wanted to talk about with you was, 2019, I mean, was an awesome year for you, getting drafted by the Yankees, winning the College World Series. But just with the College World Series right now, I mean, how much of a memory, it wasn't a long time ago, how much kind of is that going to stick in your memory, throughout your rest of your career, wherever you end up?
Yeah, you'll never forget it. That's the best way to put it. You'll literally never forget it. So it still hasn't sunk in a little bit. It's probably going to be something I see in years from now, and I watch a video of us winning it, and I'll be like, wow, that really happened. So, it's amazing. It just leads to doorways of communication with people that you had on that team forever. You could have those memories last forever, and those relationships on that team. None of us on that team will ever be in the same locker room again at one time. So it's a special bond that you can't recreate.
Yeah, so just speaking about, that special bond, going from 2018 not winning the College World Series to this year winning it, I mean, how much would you say personally for you, gelling with your teammates? I mean, did you have a different sense from 2018 to 2019? Kind of this year, like you felt the camaraderie was not, necessarily like a lot better, but you kind of, had that sense in your mind. You felt that, this could be your year.
Yeah, it's all from the seniors, really. The leadership from the seniors, what you're going to get. There was just no drama throughout the year. I can't recall one time that there was drama in the locker room or on the field. Everybody just bought in, and you could just see it. Even in the training sessions, you could just see that it was a team destined to be really good. So,
yeah, I mean, just going off of that, I mean, being at Vanderbilt University, when everyone hears Vanderbilt, you think baseball immediately. Anyone throughout the country, you hear Vanderbilt, it's baseball. I mean, with that pressure in mind and dealing with the media, how did you, mentally prepare and, kind of shell out the noise, would you say, and, prepare for the games and, just, keep on grinding?
Yeah. Like Coach Corbin always preached, we just focus on the now. So you don't really look at the stuff on social media. You see it, obviously, but you don't go searching for it. And, you just focus on what the goal is for that day. So if you can just conquer the day, conquer even in smaller increments in the day of what you're doing in that moment, things tend to turn out good.
Yeah, so, just, speaking with your time after Vanderbilt, now, it's only been a few weeks after, the season. You're with the Yankees now. I mean, being drafted by them again, I mean, did that kind of help you, lean towards the Yankees and, go into the draft and, stick with it and sign with them?
I mean, yeah, it's nice to be loved and it's nice to be respected, and going into an organization that values you definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, were you always kind of, after the season this year, were you planning on it, like, kind of no matter what, if you get drafted, you're going in? I mean, what was your process like to ultimately decide to go pro instead of finishing out college?
Yeah, I wanted to go pro. That was the goal that obviously you put in the back of your head. You don't put that on the forefront when you're playing. But, I went in wanting to go, so it ended up working out.
Yeah, I mean, just, how excited are you? I mean, obviously, you haven't played yet. I mean, but you're going to be playing with the Staten Island Yankees most likely to start, just reading up about you. I mean, going home, I mean, just can you talk about, how, lucky you are and kind of, how excited you are to, be back home and play?
Yeah, it's hard to put into words. It's literally a dream. You grow up as a baseball fan, as a kid, you play it, and you win the College World Series and then go play in front of your hometown less than a month later for the New York Yankees. I mean, it's hard to put into words. It's hard to make a better story than that. Definitely blessed and lucky, and it's unreal. It's actually something that hasn't even sunk in yet. So.
Yeah, so I mean, when do you plan on, reporting to the Staten Island Yankees, start playing? I mean, like, what's kind of your timeline like within the next few weeks?
So they haven't really told me much. I'm in Tampa right now, hitting and taking some live at-bats today, and then just working out and getting back into baseball shape after the 3-week hiatus from the College World Series. But if I had to guess, probably the next week or so, but right now they haven't told me anything.
Yeah, so, what are you up to right now? I mean, you obviously just said, you've been, staying in shape and, taking batting practice. But, I mean, are there a lot of guys down there? I mean, are the coaches, kind of giving you guys drills and stuff, like, throughout the day? I mean, what have you been up to specifically?
Yeah, the Gulf Coast League is here, so...
Have you been playing in it?
No, not yet. We're just training with the teams during the day, and then we're taking some live at-bats. That started today, actually, was the first time we've taken live at-bats. I took one off of Johnny Losiaga, I think, from the...
Yeah, Jonathan Losiaga. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to face him today. That was my first at-bat in a long time, so that was fun, but just getting back into baseball shape.
Yeah, I mean, are most of the draft picks down there? I mean, are you just a specific amount of guys? I mean, how's it been going with that?
Well, right now it's me and Josh Smith, from LSU are the 2 draft guys here, and I think the rest are just the GCL, team.
Okay. Yeah, so, just kind of, building off of that, I mean, going pro, I mean, how are you going to, obviously you had the media and stuff at Vanderbilt, but, being a professional, I mean, are you going to take a different approach to the game, kind of, now this is like your life, obviously baseball, was a part of your life before, but, speaking now, I mean, it's now your job. So, are you going to take a different approach or?
Yeah, it changes a little bit, but you adapt, and the tools that I learned at Vanderbilt just will help me for the rest of my life, not even for this specifically, but for everything. But they help for this as well, and, you adjust and you go to the field, with a little bit of a different mindset. It's a job, and no matter what, you can't change that. You can't replicate that in college, and obviously it's the same thing in college. You're ready to play, but it's different. It's different for a while.
Yeah, so, just speaking off of, winning the College World Series, I actually a few days ago spoke to, I don't know if you know Ryan Schimpf, a former MLB player, won the College World Series 2009. So, just speaking about that, he kind of went from, in the spotlight like you are, to kind of, minor league ball, kind of be, not necessarily, not going to be noticed, but, kind of be in the shadow. I mean, is it going to be weird, kind of being necessarily not really looked upon every day?
No, I never really, played for that reason. But obviously, you won't have as many people at the game. But I mean, you adjust. It's nothing too crazy.
Yeah. So, what are you looking forward to? Just starting your pro career. I mean, what kind of things have you been, focused on improving to, move up the ranks fast? Are you working more on, changing up your swing? Keeping the same approach? With the outfield, getting your arm stronger. I mean, what are you working on now to get better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on definitely my swing, obviously, just getting at bats and adjusting and to pro ball with bat is different. But just trying to, make a little bit impact, not focus on the power. Power will come, but just making good barrel contact and then getting better in center and getting a little bit quicker to swipe some bags.
Now, are you a big video guy? I mean, how do you prepare before the game? Are you a big, look at the charts, see how much a pitcher uses each pitch and where they're usually located? Or are you more of a guy, see arm release? Or do you usually just kind of, feel it out throughout the game? I mean, how do you approach the game?
I mean, obviously, you try to get your eyes on him as much as you can. If there's film, I'll watch it. If there's at the start of the game, I'll try to watch his bullpen. Then when the game starts, you're watching the whole game to see what he does. But yeah, you're just trying to get as much info as you can.
Yeah, so, just being an outfielder, playing center field, obviously at Vanderbilt, a lot of people kind of necessarily don't feel like there's a lot of preparation you could do in the outfield. Kind of, you catch the ball, throw the ball, but obviously there's a certain craft there that's kind of underlying. I mean, how do you prepare as an outfielder to not only, just field the ball and, catch it, throw it, but, be great and, excel at that, kind of facet of the game?
Yeah, it comes down to first step. It just takes a lot of reps and a lot of, reading just balls off the bat and getting good at guessing where they're going to be pretty much. And it comes down to that first step quickness and, you just got to be on your toes. It's, getting through that mental boredom of just and being active every pitch. That's when you the great ones, because those come down to the wire. So if you're not locked in, you usually just miss them.
Yeah, so, just going off of that, we talked to a lot of different players, ranging from, MLB, AA, AAA, single A, and we've asked them each, what was kind of your timeline of when you wanted to get through the ranks, what's kind of, your perfect scenario of, when you're in the big leagues?
Yeah, I haven't really focused on that. Obviously, I'll probably go to Staten Island, and then hopefully I get a good year, and they place me in, I don't know what they'll do with me, high A, low A. So we'll see what happens, and then play that season out. Hopefully, 3 years, if even. So
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, just going off of that, I mean, how excited are you to, kind of get back into the swing of things? Because obviously you're down in Tampa now, but how excited are you to, get back into the groove, with the team, come to the ball field and know you're going to play every day?
Yeah, it's my job. It's my life. So, I enjoy doing it. That's what I have the most fun doing. So I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, so, just final question before we wrap up. I mean, besides Harrison Bader, obviously you mentioned someone you looked up to. Is there anyone else that you kind of try to model your game after?
I've been comped a lot to Alex Bregman swing wise. I like to watch him a lot. So very flat, quick hands.
Awesome. Well, Thanks for joining the show. Best of luck to you down in Tampa. Going up to Staten Island. I mean, we're sure going to be watching you. Looking at your stats, and hopefully, we see you in the big leagues within the next few years.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye. Yeah, so that was Pat Demarco, Staten Island Yankee, within the coming days. Have a good day.